Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Dejan Willie Ward. Ward was shot and killed on Friday, July 12, 2013, in the 4100 block of Venice Boulevard in the Arlington Heights neighborhood of LA, according to LA County coroner records. Young Tack and Jorge Fernandez were subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. Defendants Fernandez, aka Solo, and Tack, aka Scar, were members of MS-13. MS is controlled by the Mexican Mafia. Fernandez and Tack grew up together and remained friends. Tack drove a gray Nissan Armada and was often accompanied by Fernandez. Fernandez regularly carried a .40 caliber Glock handgun. At 8 a.m. on July 12, 2013, victim Dejan Ward borrowed his mother's car to drive from Victorville to the Beverly Hills courthouse to pay a fix-it ticket. He ended up at a 7-Eleven on Venice Boulevard and 12th Avenue. E.H., who was at the intersection, heard a Latino man's voice from the direction of the 7-Eleven. The Latino man was talking to someone in the car. She then heard a gunshot, after which she saw the car rolling to a stop. She believed the driver was dead. Another witness called 911 and reported the perpetrators were Hispanic guys who shot into the dude's car and fled in a gray Nissan. LAPD officer Calvalis arrived at the 7-Eleven, saw the car the victim was driving smash into a building, and observed the victim was dead. Officers found an expended .40 caliber casing in the passenger compartment of the car. The casing could only have been fired from a .40 caliber semi-automatic firearm. The victim died from a single gunshot wound to his lungs and heart. Officer Calvalis examined the surveillance video that captured two men arriving in the parking lot in a silver Armada, a smaller black car entering the parking lot, and two men exiting the Armada and then running back to it and driving away. Defendant Fernandez made statements to several gang associates indicating that he killed the victim. Those associates testified at Fernandez and Tack's trial. LV was a former MS gang member who later worked as an FBI informant against MS. He identified Fernandez and Tack as MS gang members. Fernandez made inculpatory statements to LV when the two men were in LV's garage smoking marijuana. Fernandez showed LV a YouTube video with a title describing the murder outside the 7-Eleven. The video showed Fernandez exit the passenger seat of a Nissan Armada. LV knew it was Fernandez because of how he dressed and wore his hat. Fernandez said he and Scar approached the African-American man they believed was a blood gang member and shot him. Fernandez also told LV the victim tried to drive away and lost control, slamming into a wall and some fencing. Fernandez said he fled to Mexico with his girlfriend after the shooting. JS knew Fernandez and Tack to spend time together at a marijuana dispensary, the House of Dank, where the Mexican Mafia conducted business. On one occasion, Fernandez and Tack went to the House of Dank in Tack's Nissan Armada, and Fernandez talked to JS about the murder he committed. Fernandez showed JS the video and asked if he was recognizable in it. JS recognized both Fernandez and Tack in the video, but it was because he knew them well. The next day, Fernandez told JS he was on drugs and he messed up when he shot the black kid. Fernandez explained he thought the black kid was saying something to Tack, so Fernandez just ran up on him and shot him. JS testified Fernandez's gang had problems with African-American gangs, and if a perceived rival gang member challenged you or your friends, you run up on them, shoot them, and do whatever you gotta do. JS relayed Fernandez's statements to fellow gang member JR and explained Fernandez thought the victim was hitting up Tack. On June 3, 2015, JP received a text from Peter Cha asking if they could meet up and talk. The two men had a relationship in which Cha would front JP marijuana and JP would later pay Cha after selling the marijuana. Cha would usually give him 10 to 15 pounds of marijuana, valued at $1,400 to $2,000 a pound. On this particular night, JP owed Cha between $7,000 and $10,000. JP pulled into the parking lot of Piper's Restaurant on Western Avenue. He parked in the back area of the lot. Cha got in the car and asked JP when he would be paid. While they were talking, defendant Tack opened the front passenger door and asked JP if he wanted to smoke. Cha seemed to know Tack. Cha then got out of the car and Tack entered the car and pistol whooped JP. Defendant Fernandez entered the back seat and hit JP several times. Defendant Fernandez told JP he now owed him the money he previously owed Cha. Tack pointed the gun at JP. Fernandez went through JP's pockets and took his belt, money, and one of his cell phones. Fernandez told JP they were going to keep his car as collateral until he paid them the money he owed. Tack reiterated this was not a joke and threatened to kill JP. JP reported the incident to the police. He told them he remembered what the men looked like and could identify them. He also said Fernandez was wearing an ankle monitor. JP later identified Fernandez in a photographic six-pack. He also identified Tack in a photographic lineup with the comment, "Looks like the carjacker, but I can't 100% say it's him." Several weeks later, police found JP's car. The searching officer found a cigarette near the buckle in the front seat. A criminalist determined the DNA on the cigarette matched defendant Tack. She explained the DNA profile on the cigarette would occur in 1 in 2 sextillion individuals. According to parole agent Jason Odgers, defendant Fernandez was placed on parole and fitted with an ankle monitor in 2012. On June 3, 2015, Fernandez was wearing the ankle monitor. The monitor recorded his location at 222 Northwestern Avenue, the address of Piper's Restaurant, between midnight and 1:25 a.m. Following the trial, the jury convicted defendant Jorge Fernandez of murder, carjacking, robbery, and possession of a firearm by a felon. It convicted defendant Young Min Tak of carjacking and being an accessory after the fact to murder. The jury also found true various firearm and prior conviction allegations. The court sentenced Fernandez to 150 years to life in state prison. The court sentenced Tak to 19 years and 8 months in state prison. Dejan Willie Ward was 21 years old at the time of death.